Hey you, how's it going? My name is Ruby Price and welcome to Ask Ruubez 14. Welcome to Ask Ruubez 13. Welcome to Ask Ruubez 12. This is Ask Ruubez 11. It's time for Ask Ruubez 10. It is time for Ask Ruubez. This is a video I like to call Ask Ruubez. Ask Ruubez. Welcome to Ask Ruubez 6, the transgender edition. Welcome to Ask Ruubez 5, Ask Ruubez 4. So yeah, this is Ask Ruubez 3. And welcome to Ask Ruubez. I hope you enjoy the first instalment of Ask Ruubez. My name is Ruby Price and welcome to Ask Ruubez 14. As if there are 14 of these now. Anyway, as usual with Ask Ruubez, I asked you guys to send me some questions on social media. I took questions from Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And YouTube. Yeah, YouTube has a comments thingy now as well, doesn't it? Yeah. So let's go on with the questions. What is your favourite Pokemon? My favourite Pokemon is quite a cliche favourite Pokemon. It's Gyarados. I really like Gyarados. I just think the concept of it, it starts off as a Magikarp. It's useless. It's worthless. All it can do is jump and splash. Then, in Gen 2 it can flail. And then it evolves into the beast that is Gyarados. And I really like that. Recently when Pokemon Go introduced it, I did remember that I am a really big fan of Shinx. So if we're saying, just a specific Gen 4 favourite, I'd say Shinx. If we're saying favourite in general, Gyarados. Yeah. What was your first kiss like? My first kiss was awkward as fuck. Because, you might know, I'm a bit awkward with social interactions and stuff, and I was dating this guy, and he'd come over to my house, we were just hanging out and stuff, and talking and getting to know each other, and I really can't read a room, and it just kind of took me off guard, and I talked during my first kiss. There was some more kissing going on during that interaction, but yeah, that was the first one. Who would you say are your favourite fictional characters from a film, game, novel and comic book? I've never really read a comic book. I used to buy some magazines, but not specifically comic books. If we're going to say comic book characters, Spider-Man by a mile. I bought this the other day and I am loving it. Spider-Man has basically been one of my favourites since the Sam Raimi movies. I know that the third one particularly isn't popular, but Spider-Man to me was my first interactions with comic book characters. At the same time, Wolverine and X-Men were out, but I just didn't feel the same connection. So Spider-Man. From a film, I'm going to say Alan Grant from the original Jurassic Park movie. Less so from Jurassic Park 3, but from the original Jurassic Park movie. I wanted to be a paleontologist because of Alan Grant in Jurassic Park. It's my favourite movie. That's just kind of it. In a game, it's probably player character in first Pokemon games. And novel, I'm going to say Jonas Taylor from the original 1997 version of Meg by Steve Alton, because I really like the character. I like the way that he's done. Without giving any spoilers, he gets redemption. What has been your favourite video to make since you started your channel? Also, who do you want to collaborate with in the future? My favourite video to make was the 1 year post-op gender reassignment surgery video that I released last year. It's in my top 10 videos of 2018. It's in my top 10 videos I think that I've ever made. It was the first time I attempted a video of that kind of style, where it was, a narrative voiceover with montage of footage, and it was the most creative video I'd made in quite a while, and I really liked the way that I did it. I really liked the way I pulled it off and the way that it was received. In terms of collaborating with him in the future, I've always wanted to collaborate with Tom Scar. I just think he's an amazing creator, and I feel working with Tom would be so limitless because there's just so many possibilities of where you can go when you're working with someone of that caliber and that kind of style. I'd like to work musically with Phoenix Stone because I think there's a lot of things that we could do together, just because we have some similar approaches. Is that the right word? Favourite band? This one. In case you didn't recognise those CD cases, McFly. What is your biggest struggle since finishing uni? The contrast between student life and postgrad life. Particularly when, as a postgraduate, you haven't found a job that your entire degree was supposed to prepare you for. Well, this is an essay. Does the tiredness wear off after surgery and after stopping the anti-testosterone medication? Do you think on taking singing lessons if you can afford it? Did you go to a cooking course? How do you know that you are hetero as trans? Do you live with your parents or in a flat share? Sad music or uplifting music when you're depressed? Salty or sweet? Boy bands, girl bands are irrelevant? Summer or winter? Well, I'm a very tired person, so I don't know if me still being tired after surgery and having stopped taking leuprolin, which is an anti-testosterone injection that I used to have to take before surgery. So I don't know if me just, constantly being tired is a byproduct of those, or if it's just me being a pathetic excuse for a human being. Would I take singing lessons? I probably wouldn't. It would be nice to actually be able to sing, but I could get away with just playing guitar and bass and having production skills, so that's what I'm going to keep doing. I want to go to a cooking course. It is on my 30 before 30 bucket list to learn how to actually cook properly, because basically, unless it's fajitas, pizza, pasta, or just heating something up in an oven, I can't really cook. So, fun fact, I'm not hetero. I'm bisexual or pansexual. Depends on if you want to actually, stick with labels. I just know that if it was a choice between Jodie Whittaker and David Tennant, I'd gladly stand in the middle. I live with my mum because I couldn't make a situation work before I had to leave my student accommodation, where I lived with some friends and some not friends. I had no choice but to move back in with my mum. Sad music or uplifting music? Well, My Chemical Romance are one of my favourite bands. I've recently been listening to The Blackout. I've recently been listening to Kids in Glass Houses. As It Is Great Depression is one of my favourite albums ever. I'm going to say sad music. Salty or sweet? If this is a reference to popcorn, I don't like popcorn. And I have one hell of a sweet tooth, so if it's not a reference to popcorn, it's still going to be sweet. Boy bands, girl bands are irrelevant. I realised last year a lot of my music taste is very predominantly male-based, and I don't know if that's just because around the years where your music taste tends to be formed, I was listening to a lot of indie rock bands, the stereotypical bass guitar, rhythm guitar, drums, and it'd just be a band made up of 4 guys. So I don't know if it's to do with that, but really, I just think that an artist of any gender, if they are good enough to become noticed in my music taste, will become noticed in my music taste. The other day I ended up listening to an entire playlist of Riot Girl music that just, was organically suggested via a Spotify algorithm. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Summer or winter? Summer, because it's not as cold. And finally, how does one sort their life out? I would love to know that. If you have any answers for that, please leave them in the comments. I will read them and not act on them, but it would be nice to know. So that is all the questions from Ask Ruubez 14. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know how you would have answered those questions differently in the comments below. Let's get the conversation going. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media with someone who might enjoy it. Yeah. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I've been Ruby Price, and I shall see you whenever. Adios. Bye. Well, if that was the end of Ask Ruubez, yeah, pretty okay way to go out.